Everybody, welcome back to another episode of FSi DFS Fantasy NASCAR Picks. I'm your host, Mega31. If you didn't catch it on the video last week, with all the touching things that people had posted on the videos recently, with we talk about like taking some time off from doing videos to tend to some family situations. Realize you have a lot of family situations, so I said for Mother's Day, I will open up things for free on FSI to help you out with a busy weekend. We only have trucks on a Saturday night at 6:40ish and Cup next weekend. But if you go on Monday on the FSI website, I will put instructions in the video on Monday morning, so come back to it. Check out the comments. There'll be a promo code to go on there, or you can just go to FSiDFS.com and I will post the sheet once qualifying and everything is done Saturday afternoon. So you can use that for the truck video, for the information for the truck, and then Cup should be normal. Um, you should be able to have a video and all that information. So it'll be a speculation video, but it should be a little bit easier because we saw a similar track at Texas here as Kansas is going to be, is with a mile and a half, and we should be able to kind of look at that to see what should probably shake out for the truck series. So on to today, the Xfinity Andy's Custard 200 laps at Texas. So this qualifying and practice also rained out. So I encourage people to play light in the truck race last night. I didn't do a video because it just didn't make sense because like we didn't see these trucks or anything. But after seeing like the race here at the track, I feel like I can do an Xfinity one a little bit better. It's based on the results of the last race, so it's Talladega, and you have a lot of good cars that crashed early on that are down on the bottom, and you have some really strong people up top that could be dominators. You're probably looking at like one to two dominators here, maybe a third. But with 200 laps, you want to try to capitalize on that. But place differential, I think, should be very important. Also, some other notes. It didn't seem like tire wear was a huge issue um, for them. Case in point, Carson Hocevar pitted early before time and was trying to make up ground on him, and he wasn't really blowing through the field and catching him. He was making little gains, but nothing like significant. The new tires make a huge impact. They repaved this in like 17 or 18, so it's not like a high tire wear track. The other thing too is the truck race I was watching. It almost looked like Talladega. The trucks didn't go to Dega, but this looked pretty close to it because like the trucks got destroyed. They were trying to go 4 or 5 wide, and there were a lot of hard hits into the wall. But the other thing was that it had rained, and maybe it'll be a little bit different and won't be as bad today. But the grass was super slick and wet, and there's several trucks that hit the grass and hit their fronts on it, and the truck just was shredded. It looked like they ran full speed head on into the wall. And we saw that at Atlanta. These Xfinity cars are a little bit different. They have the composite bodies, which are a little bit stronger. Not like the Cup that they're like almost little Tonka trucks, but they're built to take a beating. But we still saw the same composite body on a Josh Berry car in Atlanta before they repaved that, hit the grass, I believe it was, and it completely shredded the car too. So we'll have to watch out for that and see if that's a factor. With no practice in qualifying, there's going to be a competition caution, probably like maybe 25 laps in, which kind of hurts the early DOMs potentially because the field's going to be re-racked, and then it's going to be an interesting strategy. Do cars come in and pit and make adjustments? Do they stay out for the track position? And this could turn into not a tire wear track race, but a field mile race. And we saw that at Talladega to the worst degree because so many cars were running out of gas, and a lot of good cars got destroyed in bumper to bumper traffic on restarts because a car hits the gas pedal and they're out after the caution lap, and the whole field plows into the back of them. And a lot of good cars got damaged out of the race because of that. So hopefully this doesn't turn into that. But they were talking last night about like splitting stages and different strategies for fuel, and it started kind of with the competition caution with those who went and those who didn't, getting on different cycles, staying out a little bit, trying to stretch it out to try to not have to pit as often, because tires don't matter as much. So if people gamble on that, we'll have to see what happens. So those are just some factors to consider. So just going through the field here, Austin Hill gets the pole because he won, and Allgaier would be second. I like both of them here. I think Allgaier is going to be huge chalk. I have Las Vegas, which is a very similar track they already ran this year. He finished first. He finished third at Texas last year. Hill had similar results. I don't think you can go wrong with either one. You're going to save 1,000 if you go with Hill, but I think Allgaier is probably going to. That's why I put him on the cover. Is probably going to be like the key dominator here. Love, I think, is in the picture too. Finished third at Las Vegas, ninth at Texas last year in his rookie year. So I don't think you can go wrong with any of these. Like if you're playing multiple entries in like the dollar, the $3, like in the Chrome Horn and the Thor, then maybe rotate through these dominators. You're not going to be able to probably put two of them in your lineup because you want to get Kyle Larson in, most likely at 12.5, and then take some of the place differential guys like down below there in the 8 and 9K range. So I think that's my recommendation. I think Algar is going to be the key dominator that you're going to want in cash, but I'm okay if you're doing like three maxes or even a 20 max, mixing in one line with Hill as the and fading Allgaier and one line with Love and fading Allgaier. Burton, I think almost a fade here, but he's been okay recently. I think maybe he can, if he stays out for the competition caution, the other three have issues or whatever. And then that's the thing here. Like, we don't know. We haven't seen anything from these cars. The best car on the track could have an underlying problem that we have no idea because they haven't run any laps here. And that's what the competition caution is for. And we saw with Hocevar, who had a really good truck and had battery issue. Although I think it's because he got hit. Um, Maybe that knocked it out, but otherwise, so there's going to be mechanical issues on some of these cars, and you're not going to know until it happens. So that's why I'm encouraging you to play light, and we know what we know, and hopefully everything's going to work out. But it doesn't. Even the best teams, there could be a faulty part or something. So hopefully it's something they can go in and simply fix. But any one of these top three out here could go pit, and Burton could go out and lead some laps until some of the guys that pitted get back past them. Creed, I think, is another great upside dominator here, too. 10th in Las Vegas. But one that I really like is kind of like a sneaky dominator here. Maybe build in your lineup if you're doing like a fade Larson and you want like to go two doms. Sam Mayer won Texas last year and he finished fifth in Las Vegas. Now he's on a different team than he was last year, but still the fifth in Las Vegas still shows that he's pretty good here. So in my 10K lineup, I'm definitely going to make him the dominator and maybe fade the top three, or maybe I'm going to fade Larson and I'm going to try to mix in Sam Mayer with either Hill, Algar, or Love. Di Benedetto starting too far forward, so fade for me. Diane Alfredo have had top 12s here in either Texas or Las Vegas, so I think they're viable, but I don't really love them. Perkins, way too far forward here. Great race at Talladega. Congratulations. Jordan Anderson's great with super speedways, but I just don't think on a intermediate track here that he's going to be that great. Taylor Gray, 11th in Texas last year, so I think he's playable here. But Quaffle, I really like here in the number one car for JR Motorsports. I think you have some place differential, and I think that he's one that can potentially get up through the field and not only get place differential, but maybe lead some laps at some point in the race. Sanchez, GPP, always a solid play. Starting a little bit, I guess that's not bad. I usually like him in the top 15, and I think if he finishes where he starts, he's fine. But I don't know if he has like a ton of upside here. Lentz way too far forward here. Ran a really good race at Talladega, and that's why he's starting 15th here. But I don't see him as a top 15 car. Thompson, 15th at Las Vegas. I don't think he raced in Texas. GPP, I think he's another one that if you're looking for like somebody in the 7K range, and you don't like want to go like if you already have like Retzloff and Swalich in there, then or somebody to pivot off them. But again, I just think starting too far forward here. Honeyman, same thing, too far forward. Good racer. Love him if he starts like 25th on back. We'll definitely play him at 5,600. Cool. I think you can hang in the top 20. He's been pretty like a pleasant surprise this year with how well he's run. But again, we like him if he starts like anywhere 25th on back and gets up into like the top 25 or like between 20 and 15. And I don't see that happening here. You're just praying that he holds his position. Ellis, like this is way too far forward for him, so he's a fade. Okay, so now we have Kyle Larson. Larson, obviously a great play here. Every time he's dropped down, he's been pretty dominant this season. Again, something could happen with the car. He is filling in for Zilich, who was in a bad wreck at Talladega. He got spun out by Jesse Love, one of his best friends. Love felt terrible about it. It was just like he just admitted his mistake. He's being too aggressive. It was racing. It wasn't malicious, but Love like hurt his back, and he's going to need to take a couple, at least this week, off. So, thoughts and prayers to him for healing. He won't be kicked out of not qualifying for the playoffs or rookie of the year or anything like that. But I mean, he's missing a whole race worth of points here. But Larson gets his car, and it's a great opportunity here. And I think he could be the secondary dominator because, again, like I said, with these Cup drivers or these drivers that are in Peach here, and it's more so the ones that like drop down and jump into from the Cup Series that are pretty skilled drivers, they don't have to stay out for stage points. So if there's like a caution before the end of a stage, they can go and pit and get the track position after everybody stays out for the stage points and then has to go in and pit. So it really sometimes benefits these drivers. And I see Cars Larson with if he wins the race, he gets 19 place differential points and dominator points and finishing position. It's just I know it's a lot to pay 12.5 for him, but it's definitely a prime play here. Or if you want to, like sometimes I split my cash when you have a Bush or Larson or a very expensive driver coming down to a series. Play one with them, play the other half of your cash without him in case something does happen and build a more balanced lineup. And then hopefully you either break win even or you maybe sometimes you win both ways. Jones, I think, is always a GPP. Sixth at Las Vegas, 13th at Texas last year. I like that he has some place differential here. I think he'll have some higher ownership, probably over 20, 25%, just because. But he had some bad luck, ran into the wall in the truck series last night in the one truck. And I just think that he just finds trouble sometimes. As I say, there's Brandon Jones tracks and there's not Brandon Jones tracks. I don't feel that this is like a not Brandon Jones track, but I don't feel definitively that it is a smash track for him. Smith and Eckes, I think medium ownership here, 13th and 14th at Las Vegas. Smith ran at Texas, but Eckes did really well at Texas last year in the Truck Series. So I think both of them are cash viable here. Blicky too far forward as a cash play or GPP, so it's a fade. Clements, I always say, here's the sweet spot for him. He's starting 25th. He finished 15th at Texas last year. I can't remember where he finished at Las Vegas, but it wasn't too bad. But this is where you want him to start. If he finishes here, if he climbs it a little bit up close to the top 20, then it's always a solid day for him. Solid floor, great team. Kyle Sieg, he's going to be another one with 10K drivers because I think people are going to sleep on him and not really look at him. He has some place differential here, but he had 11th in Las Vegas and 14th in Texas last year. Two top 15s here, and that's about 10 place differential points. If he gets up to like 16th, like what a solid day. 10 place differential points, good finishing position at 6,500. I think that could definitely be the ingredients for somebody you're looking for to help you take down a large GPP. Herbst drops down for the Cup Series, gets into the 19th. I'm surprised Almirola's not out here because this is like a track that really suits his style, but maybe, he's trying to do the family balancing. Maybe he's got something going on this weekend. But it's a good car for Herbst, a good opportunity, good driver. Was pretty solid, but he was kind of like Jones when he was down in the series here, where sometimes he would just have just find trouble out of nowhere. But I think high ownership here. I think he's definitely got some place differential, and he could be one that again that like Larson that doesn't have to play by the rules of stage points, could get track position, hold it, and make his way out to potentially lead this race and be one of the dominators later on. Maggio fade a little bit too far forward here. Joey Gase cars, I'm really not super solid on. Josh Williams is just like Clement here. He's down in the same 6K range. He always has a solid floor. Was 12th at Texas last season. And if he stays out of the lawn, he's one of the two that I fear could end up in the lawn and tearing up their car. Then I think that he'll have a solid day. That's right. I think it's a GPP here. I like the play. Don't love it. I wish he was a little bit further on down, but he's not too far ahead. Give me him as a prime play here. Like love, love, love this play here. Seventh is Las Vegas. Second last year. Like these mile and a half tracks. He does very, very well here. If he can avoid disaster starting this far back, And I think he's got tremendous place differential upside. It's a top 10 car, and he could potentially lead at some point of the race too. He's that good at these types of tracks, and especially at Texas. Love him, love him, love him, lock him in. 86 is a great price. Massey, 54. Um, GPP if you need it. If you need a punt down here, I just pay 100 more and get Smithley, and then you have like all the upside of place differential. But if you lose the 100, oh, actually Joey Gase like is $100 less. But if you already have them in your lineup, if you're going some kind of stars and scrubs thing, and you have Massey, Gase, and Smithley, and then you're throwing in every single high price driver you possibly could imagine in your lineup, then perfectly fine there. Day, I think is going to be kind of chalky down here in the 17 Hendricks car that has run really well. I'm surprised they didn't put Day in the junior one and flip and put Larson in the Hendricks one, which he's driven before, just with having some chemistry with the team and everything. And I believe Day's driven uh, JR Motorsports cars before, so it's kind of interesting, but he's a young driver that has a lot of upside. So cash play here. Retzlaff, same thing. Um, Started off the season a little bit rocky with his new ride, but he's been pretty solid recently. Just got in a bad wreck early at Talladega, which was kind of disappointing because he's usually pretty good at super speedways. He was collateral damage, if I recall. I don't think he was part of the incident. But Swalich, love him down here. Gibbs Racing Team, 7,300, has a ton of upside. I know he's like newer to this and he hasn't run too much on mile and a half track since coming up to the Xfinity Series, but he's got the talent, he's got the team, he's got the car. And I think that if he can avoid disaster and not be collateral damage from others down here, then I think he's fine. Leggy's going to be a fade for me. However, I she has done really well in here. Since she's come here, she's run truck races, she's run Xfinity races. She's been involved in a lot of instances. Some were because she is inexperienced, and some of them were just she is always towards the back because she doesn't qualify well, and she's around other bad drivers and has gotten caught up in their messes. I think this is a make or break track for her. I'm going to put her as a fade, but I think if you're mass multi entering and if you need to drop down to the cheapest driver in the field to make something work, I don't necessarily hate it because I think that even though the truck series turned into demolition derby and she and Josh Williams are the two that I could see screwing up their cars by going through the grass, she would be my second nomination for the landscaper of the year at Texas Motor Speedway. But we'll see what happens. But I think this is really a make or break track for her. And I think this will really kind of show her at an intermediate that it's not a tire wear track that she has to worry about that. If she can drive and keep the car clean and make good decisions, and maybe get a top 25 here and maybe start building on that confidence, it might point her in the right direction. Or if she wrecks out early again, then I don't know like how much more people are going to like sponsor her to continue to tear up vehicles in these different series. Yes, I think you can play in cash here. He's at least experienced. Um, Run in Texas before. I wouldn't expect him to be if he gets up to the top 25, I think that's a great day here at 5,300. So I think there's a lot of upside with him. And then Smithley at GPP here, I just prefer Gase a little bit with his experience, but Smithley in this SS Greenlight car, you always have some potential mechanical concerns, especially because they haven't like run anything. But they've been pretty sound this season, so I think that he's one that could be fine, or he could be two or three laps down the competition caution. So there's always that risk. That's why it's GPP and not a cash play. So I got for you. If you have any questions, put them in chat below. Hit me at MegaRuler31 on Twitter/X. Just come back to the comments and check them on Monday for that code to get into our FSi Discord for free. It'll give you a subscription for a week for NASCAR for Mother's Day weekend. And it'll do the same thing for Father's Day weekend. It'll be a different code. Or just go to FSiDFS.com and you can I'll post the sheet on there. So thanks for watching. These videos help us back. Like, subscribe to the channel, share with your friends. Hope you have an amazing weekend. Coming up tonight, we'll have the Cup video. And thanks for watching. Good luck in your contest, and I'll see you next time.